Welcome back to Getting Worked. It's your boy Jared, hanging out with my boy Ian. How's it going, man?
Doing good.
Good. It's like I'm doing the intro the same, even though we literally just have been on.
What are you talking about? This is brand new. Brand new. Man, I haven't seen you in a while.
I know,
how's it been?
Hey, how's it been? It's been a minute. Literally.
Yeah, about a minute, maybe two. Yeah.
This is a continuation stream. Obviously, we just did a stream covering this kind of mud show in the wrestling organization. Had this thing, they call it WrestleMania.
Yeah, maybe some people have heard of it. I hear it's a thing somewhere.
It's supposed to be kind of a big deal. So,
kind of funny that you call it the mud show, because at the beginning of the show, I think it was if there had been any dirt, there was a lot of mud. There was plenty of rain. Let's just put it like that. So that's actually a pretty good way to start things.
It's I listened to way too much Jim Cornette, and he makes fun of like some of the stuff. He calls them like mud show, outlaw mud show wrestling or something. Like he talks about AEW and like some of like the indie stuff. He's just so set in his ways.
Right.
I don't agree with 100% of the stuff that he says, but he's one of those, especially if you want to know like the old school stuff, when he gets to talking about back in the territory stuff, he's incredible. But
sure,
like certain words kind of get in your head. It's like, the whole mud show. So I was like, it's kind of channeling Jim there. It's like, this whole mud show outfit. All right. So we just did our stream. Kind of our reaction, our review, reactions to night one of WrestleMania. Pretty dang good show. And so now, we're not done, because we now have night two coming up tomorrow night. And so if you caught us a couple nights ago, You might have caught, us. We were kind of talking about wrestling in general. I think we did an AEW Dynamite review, and then we did some
previewing,
kind of discussion, preview, kind of prediction type of stuff for night one. So we're going to do a similar thing here. Basically, talk about night two, the matches that are coming up. This is not likely going to be in order of the matches in the card.
Definitely
never
not
know.
in order.
That's always subject to change, but probably just in order of magnitude.
Right.
And I'm getting this off of CBS is the source of this, and they're just kind of listing out the matches as is currently known.
Yeah.
And and so obviously some of this stuff may switch up, but as of right now, this is what we know, and these are the
we're definitely not going in any sort of order. This is just we're gonna hit all the matches and go from there.
And, hopefully, knock on wood, nobody gets hurt or ends up with COVID last minute or something.
Yeah, nothing, none of that. Right.
But it may, like some torrential downpour may come in, and instead of just
you never know that's actually probably the thing that could happen above all things. So
having it in Tampa.
Tampa in the spring. So
so all right, so
I mean, they had a Super Bowl in New York in the dead of winter, so that's anything's possible. But that's neither here nor there. Let's jump in.
Let's jump into this, man. The first match on the list, again, probably the one that folks are going to be most interested in general, is the triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, current holding champion, versus Edge and Daniel Bryan. This on paper, at the very least, could be a knockdown, throw down, hell of a match. I mean, Edge is looking like a wrestler just completely reborn.
Did he leave? Don't remember.
He had a little thing with his neck, had a little crick in there, just a little minor thing.
I mean, he just doesn't look like he's missed any time. Like he's just been this way he's been doing the last 10 years.
Oh, exactly. And he's this is an interesting story arc that they're putting in here. I think Roman Reigns, I think especially here with this last arc with him, putting him with Paul Heyman, the head of the table persona, the story, he's finally that clear delineated heel that he's needed to be forever.
Yeah, and he really has, and he's run with it. To his credit, he absolutely has run with it.
I think this has been his
best work. Yeah,
Jinx. I mean, it's no doubt. I think that he is really showing what I think a lot of people have seen in him, but for whatever reason, he's not really been able to convey. And I think it's just a matter of just having that opportunity again. You put someone with Paul Heyman as the manager. This is where Paul shines too.
Sure.
He proved it with Brock Lesnar with that advocate role. It's just put Paul Heyman on the mic and it's money. And this guy, knows psychology, knows the storytelling, knows how to build tension, knows how to build a suspense,
he knows the cause, he knows the cadence, everything about it. Yeah.
And so I think you've got two guys in this, this pair up here that are doing their best work and are really doing their best fit. We talked about Edge, and then you have Daniel Bryan, who, I mean, is a 5-star match in the making at any given point in time. Is at just put him in there with someone who's halfway competent and is more than likely going to give you an incredible match. But also, I don't know if this has been talked about, but if you think about it, this match too is really a potential redemption match for all three. So, we joked about the crick in Edge's neck. It's no joke. Edge came back from what was potentially a career-ending injury.
Borderline life-threatening. I mean,
sure.
It's your neck. It's kind of an important part. You bump wrong, you're paralyzed or worse.
Let's not forget about Daniel Bryan.
I'm going to get to him too.
Coming right in again, similar kind of story. Was able to come back sooner.
Sure.
But again, another situation of someone who, at the time, all the doctors pretty much had him pegged of, really, dude, you should never get back in the ring again, and
ever.
He's able to do it. And then you have Roman Reigns.
Absolutely, like legitimately a life-threatening disease. He is in remission, thank goodness. But
second time.
See, right.
I mean, this is like, and so, just more at their personal lives, but even at it's become part of the story of the characters too. Not as much on Roman's end because he's playing more of that heel role. And
sure.
But still, and again, kind of even with Daniel Bryan, it's kind of been forgotten about. He's been able to kind of solidify himself after that. Edge is more recent, so it's more part of it. But you got three guys here who legitimately come back from things where they shouldn't be wrestling at all to be turning around and coming in and probably going to be headlining night 2, I would suspect.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine this not being the last match.
Yeah, and then it's going to be, like I said at the beginning, I think this is going to be a knockdown, tear down, just incredible match between these three guys, because how else could they not? It's just
the talent in the ring is there is nothing. It's going to ooze talent in that ring. You've got the workhorse Bryant in there. You've got, as much as people want to knock Reigns and things. I mean, Reigns is a very polished wrestler at this point. He is the headline main eventer. As much as you may love or hate that fact, I mean, this isn't his first time likely headlining WrestleMania. And Edge has done everything. He's done everything. It's been a long time since he's done it, but he's done everything. The character he's playing now, I haven't quite figured out if he's sort of the bad good guy. I don't know how to describe that exactly, what he's going through right now, but
I think he's playing a character trying to figure it out. I think he's playing a character trying to figure out where he fits in the ring now, and so it gives him a lot of freedom creatively to not necessarily be one or the other. And they had the thing with Fastlane.
He's just overly driven. Yes, that's basically what you're getting from this guy.
Yeah,
a guy that is driven. And sometimes the most driven people are not the best people.
No. I mean, and again, it's like he's making up for lost time.
Exactly. He knows his clock is ticking.
Yeah.
So that's really his character. Like I said, it's not a bad character. It's just hadn't quite vibed with it yet.
But I think think the way they set it up with the so Bryan and Reigns had the match at Fastlane. Edge was basically put together as a special enforcer, not the referee, but the enforcer. And so there was a bit of a screwball finish with it because Edge, it worked out to where then it's just like kind of a overall melee out there. Bryan attacked Edge and Reigns, and then it was basically able, like in the ruckus, Reigns was able to retain. And so with the whole thing with Edge winning the Royal Rumble, setting up, say, okay, I want deciding, because there's a whole story arc about which title Edge was gonna go after.
Right.
And so then it became and also, I mean, it was one of the cool, again, kind of a bit of a nice creative story arc there, because Edge wasn't necessarily assigned to any one show either at the time.
Where he could bounce between, because he hadn't officially said who he's going after.
Exactly. So then he kind of had this whole thing where, like, and then he would show up on every show and basically kind of cut promos and talk to have the champion come out, and almost like AEW, he'd come out and then get interrupted by the champ and then kind of go through or come in. And so anyway, now
he was even on NXT there briefly.
Yeah.
He popped in for one show.
Hey, maybe I'll go after Finn Balor. I think it was Finn Balor.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was Finn at the time.
He was just saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna, I might even check out this New Blood thing. Whatever. I've had all these other titles. Why don't I go after this one? Basically.
Yeah, I never had that one.
No, but this didn't exist.
No, exactly.
Not really.
Y'all are still new, brand new.
This will be another notch in my belt. Basically.
Never heard of y'all. Yeah.
So anyway, Brian was able to parlay for a spot at WrestleMania given the wonky finish at Fastlane. And that's how it became a triple threat. And so that's basically the story arc going into this one. And I think that it helps to helps to build the tension, helps to build the story. Yeah. Each guy's vying for this win for their own reasons. It's not like you've got it's really anything goes, because it's not like any of them are necessarily the other's buddy, really, so they don't really have any reasons to like each other at this stage. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because usually a lot of times with these triple threat matches, you'll end up with there's a couple different ways you could do it. You could have a face and two heels, and the two heels will team up together and then try and go after the face, and then one of them will screw the other one over, and it's hard to say how those will go. You've got, again, enough sort of self-motivation between the three of them, where it's pretty much going to be, look, this is regardless of maybe whatever respect Daniel Bryan may have for Edge or vice versa, it's not going to matter when that that bell rings on this one. It's just, we're going to go full out, and we're going to do this, and not even best man wins. No. It's whoever wins wins.
Whoever survives.
At this point,
the last one that survives, last one that's got a little bit that much more. So who you got? You want me to go first, or you got it?
You go first.
You want me to go first on this one? All right. I say Reigns retains. Night one was a lot of feel good moments. In fact, I don't think there was any real twist per se. I mean, if you want to say Bobby Lashley winning, sure,
but that's a big shock.
No, that wasn't, and it wasn't even but it was all about
good feelings, about how we really felt like it was as close to a clean finish as you're probably going to get out of Lashley. Yeah.
But the overall theme of that show was all about good feelings, and so there's a lot of positivity and all of that stuff. I think that this show this is where the turns and the cheating and the heels being heels and all of that is really going to kick in.
More of the weird people coming in, surprises in this one.
There weren't any.
I don't know about this match per se, but I think
I'm gonna tell you, I think that this match is gonna have Dean Ambrose is gonna show up and help his boy Roman Reigns. And that's what's gonna happen. So mark it down.
Okay.
Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
Gonna come in, help his boy, the Shield. Wonder Twins at this point, because Rollins is the drip.
He's
Messiah.
He's
Uh,
dude. That dude is just going off of no sleep. I'm telling you.
yeah, he's high
That
on life
dude
right now.
hasn't slept. Well, he's high on life, but that baby is keeping that dude's
High
getting
on life and lack
no
of sleep.
sleep.
Yeah. So yeah, Dean Ambrose will come in. And no, I think Roman Reigns will retain. I guess not win. Retain the title. Yeah, I don't know that this is going to be one of those feel good moments. Edge winning his title that he never lost back or anything like that. They may do that down the line, but I don't think this is it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. But just so that we're not like completely in lockstep on every single match, because that's
especially for this one.
It's been with like a triple threat and everything. I'm almost wondering if Daniel Bryan ends up with it.
Oh, really?
Because again,
that would be
that's
of the three of them. I'd put him third.
Well, so again, I'm kind of going off of your point here. Like, if it's not going to be Reigns, which I'm more leaning towards, to be fair, but I'm going to say Bryan. Because then that way, if Edge wins, we're both wrong.
True.
It's also just, I agree with your take on kind of the feel good versus not so feel good. I think that I don't know. I really deep down, I don't think this is the moment to take it off of Reigns. So no, in that way, and again, it's kind of like you said too about Edge. I don't know if this is the time to give it to him either. So my thinking is more Bryan's more of a number 2 here, because so I'm going to go with Bryan just because I don't know what else really. It's again, also triple threat matches are weird.
They can have twists and I think if there is a match, one of the matches that'll have something, there has to be more to this match than just them in the ring. And it's not that them in the ring isn't enough, but I don't know.
And I guess the only reason why I tossed out the fact that I didn't necessarily. I think Heyman getting involved is a given.
Sure.
So so I'm not really including that as part of like any kind of twist, because I wouldn't see that as a twist. That's just expected.
It's part of it.
But I think also the thing is, it's kind of like it's not quite as bad, but it's kind of like the tag team turmoil kind of things, or like once you kind of get into like triple threat territory, you're at the cusp of it becoming kind of hard to maintain the story there. Now, if done right, there can be a lot of great points, a lot of great arcs, and I think there's enough little like twists and turns inherent in the match itself that I don't think, not during the match itself. Now, depending on who wins, this may be the perfect opportunity for somebody to kind of either, show up, maybe hit the winner from behind, or they don't usually do it, especially for like the last match, but maybe even more something of like someone walking out up on the stage and kind of doing the, hey, all right, good on you, just know I'm gunning for it kind of thing, kind of more of that. And it's like someone that maybe
has Jimmy Uso come back yet?
Oh, was he the one that won the?
Not Jay. No, Jay won.
Jay won the. Okay. I don't.
Jimmy, I think, is the one that's been out. He's been hurt. And it's Jay Uso that won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Okay.
Friday night.
Okay.
And he's been around the whole time.
He's the one that's been in the story arc, Roman Reigns, the head of the table story, all that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so far the head of the table, it seems like he needs to add some people to his table. It's a small
it's
table.
Just you and how you could be
you and another person. Technically, you're both heads of the table at the moment.
Basically, it's like you're the head of a bench. You're ahead of the bench at the park.
That's good.
a 2-person bench at the park. You're just kind of hanging at the feeding
Right.
the pigeons, and it's like this is my bench. Like
this is my bench.
This is my
I'm the
bench.
head of this
Like
bench.
I'm the head of this bench.
I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I think that is the reason that I say that something more has to. I think Reigns is going to have some more people at his table.
I think if anything, or maybe even, and again, I can't. It's hard. I just can't. I can't. So it's you think it's Jimmy, but also I mean Jay.
I don't remember him being. Well, Jay's expected because he's still there under the thumb. So yeah, I don't. I was trying to think of a person that could be kind of
that would be
making their return.
I mean,
Jimmy would be the kind of the natural.
It makes
person to come back, right?
You know, and it is a better story to have Jimmy come back, maybe especially kind of, you know, showing up more, maybe even more against Reigns initially.
I can see that too, the way you've been treating my brother.
Exactly. And so I think that's even if it's not here, maybe later down the line, you'd expect something's gonna happen there, you know.
Yeah,
I don't see.
Absolutely.
And I think part of it is kind of maintaining that story. Eventually, but yeah, they're gonna. You could have Jimmy kind of come in, and then he's sort of doing his thing, and then it's eventually he comes under the fold, and then it's
sure,
you know,
yeah,
and it's, you know,
right.
Anyway. So I think
I was gonna say
it's hard to tell with this one. But so the next one, and again, I think as far as like ones that I'm looking forward to, I think this is one I'm definitely very interested in. We've got Asuka versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. This one especially is going to have a really hard time holding up till tonight. Because...
Yeah, by the way, spoilers in case, because I know we're gonna mention something we should definitely say.
Well, yeah.
Spoilers for night 1 if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Granted, we're previewing night 2, but we're gonna reference night 1.
We're probably gonna reference night 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This match here again has on paper an opportunity to be at least in the running with tonight's match.
Match of the night.
Whew, I mean, that's just going to be so hard.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got a similar kind of arc here.
Very similar.
You have a very well-seasoned, very well-established veteran. And now you have this young upstart who's very well-positioned from NXT coming in Rhea Ripley. And again, you've got more of a different kind of a skilled wrestler in Asuka, but still she's more of a striker, you know, submission, you know, kind of Japanese style, very strong style type women's wrestler going up against Rhea Ripley, who, again, similar to Bianca Belair, is a flat out powerhouse.
Sure.
And she's like even more like not surprising as Bianca, because Rhea's like 7 feet tall. She's ginormous.
She does.
And so, but is very skilled herself. Really is very exceptional in the ring. Both women are, and so this is just going to be an incredible match. It's just got a lot to live up to. I'm
looking forward to seeing who you're picking in this one.
I'm gonna go with Rhea. I don't.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah. Yeah, I am too. I think they screwed up. They realized that they screwed up how they did. They should have had her beat Charlotte a few years back, or 2 years, or whenever it was. That Charlotte, she should have beat Charlotte, but you know, Flair. So yeah, I would definitely. I think Rhea. They're trying to build two new superstars, and this is how you do it.
Which
So
and it just helps to add depth and a bit of new blood, a little
a new face, new faces, new blood. Yeah,
legitimacy to the new blood.
Yes,
to because Asuka can take a loss and still be Asuka, and just come just like Sasha Banks,
exactly. No, they have a resume.
No one's questioning their legitimacy at all. So it only helps, again with Bianca, and again I'm kind of glad to see that because I was worried. So in this way, I'm kind of trying to give some benefit of the doubt here on the storytelling, but I think to help really build up their already strong female roster here, they need to give Rhea the strap and just call it good. And then give her a chance build up that story from
see
there.
How she is.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And so the next match on the list is the Bray Wyatt Randy Orton match. I'm not laughing because I laugh not because I think that this is like, I'm actually looking forward to seeing this, but I couldn't possibly tell you how this goes. I don't. Again, I think.
All right, so let me ask this. Okay. I don't think I've ever asked you about this. What is your take on do you like the hocus pocus supernatural? I can make things appear and disappear, and here's fire, and I'm gonna burn you, and all that stuff. Do you like that type of thing in wrestling, or would you prefer it to be swerves and stuff like that, but more, hey, these are two normal people, humans that are fighting each other? And
I like it when it's isolated. It's not overdone. And there really isn't anyone else doing this in the main roster right now.
Sure.
So it kind of goes back to, I mean, I can't sit here and say I don't like it being a fan of Undertaker, being a fan of Kane, being a fan of like Gangrel and the Brood. It can't even, I mean, heck, even like Broken Matt Hardy. I think that, I mean, I can like even take it to other genres. Probably one of my, favorite female wrestlers in Impact / TNA is Rosemary, who's, definitely very much, kind of in that demonic. Or I mean, even like, heck, you can go back to like the Crow Sting kind of thing. Now, they didn't overplay the supernatural aspect of it, but there was always sort of that ominous kind of aspect to it, and the fact that you tell is obviously very much based in the Crow movie kind of gave that just enough of that vibe where you had to be concerned about it. I think if done again, this Fiend character and the Bray Wyatt thing and the Funhouse thing and the way they've been able to take advantage of it with COVID and everything, with the more cinematic matches and everything. I think it's an interesting story. I actually think, on paper, if you showed this to me and the wrong person was describing it, I would just say, okay, get this out of my face. Like, there's just, what are you talking about? He's like a monster on one end, but then he's like a twisted Mr. Rogers on the other. Like, how does that work? I think that Bray Wyatt has taken this whole thing and just made it something really unique and really special.
Yeah.
And then I think the inclusion of Alexa Bliss into this whole thing. She's been incredible with it, I think. And so
originally she said that ages ago she had wanted to be, when this first came out, she had wanted to have this she wanted to be that character.
She wanted to be Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
When there was this whole thing about like who's Sister Abigail and like the whole thing. Now they've taken a different twist to it, but this was even before. Like there was some talk about her being kind of very interested in, like, she likes this kind of stuff. Like she would actually, back like her early run in NXT, she was with Wesley Blake, and I can't remember the other guy's name. They were a tag team, and she was.
I remember that.
And she would actually she would have like kind of like this like get up that was like based off of Freddy Krueger, with like the claw and like the stripes and everything like that. So she's into this kind of stuff. In this.
Yeah, she's very into this. Yeah.
And so I think as far as like, especially from just a creative standpoint, kind of letting her, be able to pull off her acting chops and sort of, play this character, and like, but also because she's like literally half an inch shorter than a hobbit.
Yes, but then that plays into it. And then
the pigtails, and then her sitting on the swing and kind of playing. It's almost like she's a possessed doll,
Yeah, and which Teddy Ruck's been in all those not oddly creepy dolls that are.
I think she's been able to play, and in fact, also I'm glad that they didn't it's awesome that they didn't change her name, so she's still Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Bliss, but it's it's the irony of it, and just the whole and so she's been able to really kind of play around with this character and really kind of just sort of creatively just go wild with it. And I think this is another thing too, because I think this is a situation where Bray, especially, somehow, some way, this guy got the hold of the reins creatively.
Yeah.
I don't know how he pulled this off. I think it was just however way. I think he sold Vince on this thing, and Vince is just like go hog wild with it, and then I'm
honestly wondering if his contract wasn't up right before this, and he was, or was coming up or something like that, and he just did the
this is what I'm going to do.
Back. I'm tired of having stupid people writing for me, so. And they still, I don't know that he's fully in control of his writing. I really don't.
100%, but he's definitely.
But at least his character, especially the way they kind of started his character off. He was supposed to be this big bad, and then he lost all the time. So,
now the booking's a whole different story.
Yeah,
but I think as far as like the character, creative arc of the character itself, but it's like, okay, why are you building up this monster? Then what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, he's losing constantly. I don't know.
What's the point? Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of wins and losses, is this me? Is it my turn?
If you really want to try and pick, I mean, again, this is one of those deals. Yeah, it's you. You can pick, but
it's the Fiend.
It's the Fiend.
I think. I think it's going to be Fiend. I'm not sure that the Fiend that has been running around. I think this is going to be a build to the. I was going to say Wyatt family, the Fiend family. I don't know, I think this is going to be a build to him having more than just Alexa Bliss. I think they're going to add to his stable. In fact, I think they may have already added to his stable. We just may not know it, because the Fiend, since he's come back from being burnt, that's a statement. Since he's come back, he's looked different. But not just look, he's moved. His movements are different, as if he was someone maybe not the original Fiend. So Bray does have a brother that is in wrestling. Bo Leave.
Thinking about Bo.
Okay. Bo Leave.
Okay.
He does have a brother. They would be about the same height, about the same size, but they're not the same person. And because of that, their mannerisms would just, It's just been that he's
Bo's
moved
not as
there's certain
big
things
as
about him that's
Bray.
moved
Yeah, Bo's not
different.
as big as Bray, but with the
Not as heavy,
suit, not as heavy. But like with the
but
suit and everything, you could make it work.
but
Relatively
even
same
if you look,
height and
they're
shoulders and
about the same
stuff.
height,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
just don't seem it doesn't seem like he moves the same. He seems a little stiffer than the original one. Honestly, I thought he looked thinner than the original Fiend too. That
Well,
could
I
be
mean,
just in my head.
understand that so the internet memes don't quite agree. They basically been calling him a charred potato. Sorry, I know you just took a drink there. Should have timed that better.
Timing, man. Come on now.
Sorry. But I didn't make that. I didn't come up with that. I wish I did.
Well, yeah, I
Because
can see it too. Now that you say it, I
but
can't unsee it.
they call he's been
I
called
can't
the
unsee it.
character's been called the charred potato. It's kind of like because he's but I think it is more like kind of but I think it might be just it's hard to tell. I think it is still Bray under there, but what I will say is that you do still have Bo in the like Bo's still, my understanding is still under WWE contract. They just haven't been doing anything with him, and I think that he's I mean I've been kind of thinking. I mean I think for a long time a lot of people have just been like waiting for them to do something together, if anything else, just to give Bo something better to do.
Anything to do.
I think when Bo, there was one where it was like he was with Miz as like the B team or whatever. Now
Yeah,
that was
was
kind
it
of
Miz?
funny. I think it was either Miz or Seth.
No, it
Or someone, I don't know.
Oh yeah, they were the backup. It wasn't just him though. It was
No.
him and one of the legacy guys. Forgot his name.
Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel. Yes, it was the two of them. They were the B team. Yeah,
but
they were behind. Right.
But Bo had this especially later on in it. Bo started.
Remember the Bo leave thing?
No, I do. I remember that. I didn't like that. Bo, as part of the B team, especially later on in the run, kind of started having this darker look. He had his hair a bit more slicked back, and it was wearing more of a darker vest and black gloves, and just had a bit of a tougher look to him. There's still kind of the screwball kind of henchman kind of thing, but I was I was like, damn, this I was kind of looking, I was like, they did the right story, the right booking, the right everything like that. It's like, damn, this dude could look like shit. This dude could look like somebody here. So he definitely has it in him. It's just the whole the whole boat. He was basically walking around this tighty whitey saying "believe." I mean, I'm like, no, man, no, listen.
Yeah, no part of that.
No. So, I don't know. I'll go with I'll take Randy on this one too. Just to sort of mix it up with the. We had too many the same last time.
We really did. We really did on the first one.
When in doubt, I'm just gonna go contrarian just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But I really, with these cinematic matches, it's hard. It's harder to say.
Is it gonna be a cinematic?
Yeah, I expect this to be. Well, I think right now I think the running theory is that it's not clear. But
yeah, I was gonna say I was actually be surprised if it was, to be honest with you.
Well, actually, you're right. You know what? Especially now that live crowds are back, it may not be.
Yeah.
So if this is more of a straight up match, then I'd probably say you're right on this one then, because I'm still gonna pick Randy. Just why not? But I think you're right in a sense, because I think it is more of the Fiend's turn, if anything else.
it almost
turn him into a charred potato. What else?
Right.
So and it'd be kind of curious to see if they do something where it might be kind of maybe not cinematic, but still do some of the weird effect kind of things. The lights go dark and everything like that. He might start off as the burnt potato, but then like the lights go down and then he's back like as the original Fiend. And then it completely
that would be cool.
shifts the story around. Really, and so, sure, I'll take Randy just cause, but I could definitely see it going to Bray if it was more of just a straight up match. If it was a cinematic one, I don't. Well, I might even go more to the Fiend too, but whatever. I'm going to put Randy just cause to be contrarian.
Gotcha.
The next one on the list is the Intercontinental Championship. New Day, Big E versus Apollo Crews and a Wakandan drum match, I think it is, or Nigerian drum match. Dude, I'm going to let you comment on that because that's not my place.
I should not.
Well, I sure as hell shouldn't.
You should not either. We're going to just move on from that.
This is not really
black people. That's what we should do with them.
But I think
let's call Nigerian something. Okay, good. That's
for
great.
For some reason, they've had Apollo Crews like going off on this whole kind of more like African kind of vibe to it, to his character. Yeah. Which in and of itself is fine, but it's kind of like one of these weird things where it's like, especially African American. I mean, you know, but like, but he's not like born in Nigeria. You know,
right? So what are we talking about?
I don't know. Especially he's already established. You know, we've already heard him. He's actually pretty damn good on the mic. We've already heard him talk. We've already heard him. You know, he's hella athletic for his size.
Yes, absolutely.
What the hell?
He's young. He's up and coming.
Yeah. So I think this is, again, kind of one of the writing things. It could be a Vince thing. Kind of when in doubt, throw a gimmick at it. I guess. But I don't know why he needed it, because I think he's enough of an athlete, enough of a legitimate presence in the ring. And again, enough of a character. I think especially as a face character, I was really hoping that they would really flesh out his run, where, you know, the whole thing with like the Hurt Business, and basically kind of more of either take it as more of no, I don't want to be involved with your stuff, and really be someone that could like go up against Bobby Lashley as a face. Or maybe even like make a swerve and be part of it or something like that. I could see either way, but either way be in that mix even more than what they did with him. And, you know,
they had a blueprint for what to do with the Hurt Business, and they could have just made them the Nation, this generation Nation.
Or kind of like a cross between like the Nation and the Four Horsemen. I like the way they had it, because again, it's kind of like, it's when you have...
They can't do the true Nation. And when I say the Nation, I don't mean...
I know what you mean. Yeah,
we're not coming out doing this. But
it's that black dominant team. It's like we're coming together. We're doing our thing. And,
right.
And again, it's like and
not even like as the bad guys. They could be the good guys, but it doesn't. Yeah, they could have done something. But
that's kind of where like that horseman footprint comes in. It's basically it's like we're better than everyone else.
Right.
We're gonna and like what I liked about it is like we're coming out in the suits. We're coming out with that. We're coming in. We're serious.
They're at the pinnacle of their profession.
I mean the pickle, but
the pineapple.
The pineapple. That's right. Pineapple.
Anyhow.
Anyway, I think I don't know how this match is gonna go either. I think in a way, if the gimmick,
good news, you get to pick first. So
if the gimmick wasn't there, I'm gonna say Apollo. I don't know why they're necessarily putting this gimmick on him, but I like Apollo Crews. I think he's a great wrestler. I think they don't know what to do with him. But maybe they might be able to, I don't know, with the belt on him, maybe they might be able to kind of shift him away from it, especially if like if he has the belt on him and the gimmick still isn't really getting over, then maybe they might use that as a catalyst to kind of shift them out of it a little bit. It's kind of like it just
actually, as you're
doesn't.
talking, I would have. Yeah, I can completely see that.
You know what I mean? Just say, okay, this isn't working.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm gonna go with your stance of you picked a couple of people that just to be different from me.
Sure.
As you were talking, I kind of was leaning more toward your side, and I think you're probably right. I think this also might be a chance for Big E maybe to get into the top belt picture a bit. He's carried the
IC.
I'm gonna pick Big E.
Yeah, sure. No, and that's not a bad point there.
But
yeah.
The more we talked, the more you talked, I kind of could see that as well. It lets Big E transition away from the IC level and get up into that heavyweight talk, or the top belt talk a bit more. So yeah, but I'll go Big E. I'm going Big E.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Riddle versus Sheamus for the United States Championship. If Riddle can remember how to get to the ring at this point, it'll be incredible.
That was my job. I'm supposed to crack that one. Come on. Riddle just needs to remember to show up.
Riddle can't even remember his lines. I don't remember.
That is easily one of the funniest. I went back to watch it.
I don't remember.
The funny thing was,
I don't know what to say.
I was watching Raw. I saw them go to that segment, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just go grab
zone out."
Drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a little side thing. And literally, I turned my head, and where I live isn't that big, so it's not like a long walk. But I walked over and started to make a drink. And I kind of turned, I literally opened the refrigerator and turned, and he was just riding off. And in my head, I'm like, I don't remember. Did I black out there? I didn't even hear anything. Did he say? And all I just remember is Asuka having this look of
weirdest look.
Just like, I was like, okay.
I don't know what to do here.
What did they say? Did they say? So I had to rewind to go back to see what happened. And it's like, I don't think that was supposed to happen.
No.
And come to find out, it really was not supposed to happen.
No, and especially
seemed to think it was hilarious.
Well, right. So, I think in a way, just the way it played out, and I think in a way it's a double-edged sword in this one. And in one regard, it was like Asuka was the worst person to have this happen to because English isn't her first language, and she's doing what she can to hit her beats, hit her marks, and everything else. And so it's probably probably has to even be more focused on what she's doing, and then to put her with Riddle, who just doesn't care.
It's not even that. I listen. It was hilarious. Okay, I will say this: if there was anyone, I don't know that anyone else could have got away with this. I truly don't. But and it's not because I think Vince and them love him so much. I think it's just because everything aligned, all the stars aligned for this to be okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's his character, that isn't that whole thing.
Huge story point or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's his character
riding on a scooter.
It's the character that he's supposed to be anyhow.
Yeah.
That he's a little high on life.
He's kind of a Rob Van Dam 2.0 in this regard.
Basically, that's what they're kind of playing him as. And so if that's the case, and you give him a ridiculously stupid line, extra complicated line.
Yeah.
Did you actually hear that? I've heard the line. The line is, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was cumbersome. Let's just put it like that.
Okay. Yeah. And so, it's like, I don't know what I'm
gonna... There's sort of two ways I could almost see that. Is one, he thought, oh my goodness, I can't say that line no one would say that line. No one would ever say that line.
It's kind of like the Simon Miller's "Nobody talks like that."
Nobody talks like that. That's exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to
shout out to Simon Miller.
Yeah, he's awesome. Love him.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was. There was no moment that he would have gone, yes, I would say this if I was high. You wouldn't say it if you weren't. No. At no point would you ever say any of this. So part of that, it may have been a Freudian slip or no slip at that point. But yeah, it worked for him.
Yeah.
I honestly think it came off far better because of it.
Right.
It was the only bad part of this whole thing was Asuka. Asuka looked like
it was just a real bad position to put her in. Yeah.
So,
and like she's probably waiting for certain words to be said in English.
She's waiting for cues.
So then she knows what to. Yeah.
And she doesn't say anything.
She's like, I don't know.
He just wrote off. Did I miss what he said? Did I screw that up? No, I didn't.
But then her reaction too kind of really plays into it too. So it's like,
again, if it was any other character, if that was Roman Reigns wouldn't have messed that up. But if it was Reigns, could you imagine? If it was, and not someone new. Oh Lord, if it was one of the newer ones, Bianca or literally anybody else.
Sure.
It doesn't play into their character, but that played perfectly into his character.
Yeah.
It just shows why more of them should be allowed to get some basic. Riddle, was it you and I that were talking that Riddle basically had cliff notes, or I read it somewhere, or I heard it, and I can't remember. But basically, Triple H in NXT gave him basic cliff notes of what, like, hit this point, and Riddle basically did his own thing out there.
Right. Yeah.
So naturally, you go from that to, and then you need to say "and" after the fifth word, and "the" here, then you It's just something that is so scripted down to the ands and thes and ums that it kind of screws you up. So,
absolutely. And I just, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like, you're really getting way too far into TV and not wrestling.
Sure.
Some of it is more of that live show feel. Again, it kind of goes to like with the rain delay, all the different little interviews that you had with everybody, and everybody just kind of, they didn't have scripts for that. So people were pretty much going out there just doing their character, hitting some points, coming up with something to say that fit with the character that they were portraying. And of all of them, I think Seth Rollins was incredible because he was
Rollins and Owens. Owens did really well too.
Owens did really good job. I think like the McIntyre Lashley thing, I think went well too. I think a lot of them went great, but it was just having them just go out there and talk, and just be their character, and in some parts be themselves, and then just be able to just not have that pressure. Or in certain ways there's pressure because we got to fill time. Okay, fine, but each one got a few minutes.
Well, you get to be, especially for guys like maybe Seth probably, but especially guys like Kevin Owens. He's excellent on the mic. That's why he's where he's at. Quite frankly, it's not that he can't do it in the ring, because he can, but he's also excellent.
He's an incredible character wrestler.
He's a believable. Who you see him in there is, you kind of go, I can see that. That sort of tracks. That kind of tracks. So, all right. So this match for the U.S. belt, right?
For the United States Championship, Riddle's the current title holder. Sheamus is coming in. I get the feeling that. So there's another story arc to this, because there's this whole thing with Riddle and Mustafa Ali going on right now, and Retribution and all of that stuff. Now it's kind of it's left ambiguous, but it seems
even since the supposed breakup of them?
That's the thing, and I don't know. Again, it's wrestling, so it's always kind of like it's a breakup, but maybe it's not. But as of right now, the story arc is that it is a breakup. But and it kind of seems that Riddle sort of moved on from that, but you never know. There may be something there. So again, when we talked about tonight being one, because we really haven't talked about a whole lot of swerves. We thought maybe a little bit here and there, but this is not one really of those. Not too much. So like major interferences or weirdness in general, where you would think maybe tonight they might do a little bit more. And this seems like the kind of match where they can get away with it a little bit more too, because at the end of the day, I don't really care if it's Riddle or Sheamus that wins this match. So why not throw some wonkiness at it? Have like Ali, if at the very least Ali get involved somehow, and maybe have some way have, because I think Riddle's also, it would also make sense because Riddle's coming in as really effectively the face here, so have Ali come in and somehow trip things up and make Riddle lose the belt to maybe kind of drive something there. Or maybe have him get involved somehow and then basically say it's like, okay, either Sheamus or Riddle wins and then gets involved. But I think this one to me screams some kind of external
outside interference.
Yeah, somehow, some way, because why not?
Sure. So who are you going with? Is this?
I'm going to go with Sheamus. I'm going to go with Sheamus winning off of some external stuff happening. And not sure what, but
I'm going to go with Riddle, but I'm not so sure that it's still not because of outside stuff.
Could be.
So, but it would have to be a real change for his character. And I don't know that, you can't have a character who's basically doesn't seem like he can plan to the next meal.
No.
And suddenly he's a mastermind of, teaming up with somebody. So, yeah. It would have to be a huge.
What you could do, like Riddle wouldn't have to be in on it. Riddle could just be unaware, and just kind of sort of like the lucky accident kind of thing. Ali or whoever kind of comes in with the intention of screwing Riddle over, but somehow it gets messed up, and then Riddle's able to just kind of luck his way into something, and then ends up winning because of it. And then there's just kind of like this weird, like kind of what the heck. But also maybe it could be like a completely funny story arc of like Riddle being completely oblivious to everything that's going on. Like have this whole thing going on and Riddle being completely just absolutely oblivious. And then getting the pin. Like, oh, Sheamus is knocked out. Hey, did I kick him? Yeah. I don't know. Well, screw it. I'm going to go pin him.
That's what happened.
I must have kicked him.
Yeah.
I mean, or because he wouldn't have choked. It wouldn't be like a choke out kind of thing. So it's like, oh, maybe I caught him with something good. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So that had to be, especially playing off the thing with Asuka, where it was just kind of this thing where that'd be kind of a funny arc where Riddle just keeps winning matches, but he's completely oblivious as to why.
As to how or why. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't know. This guy's knocked out. Man, air.
All right.
He done fell on that banana peel again.
Something shiny.
Yep. All right.
I'm gonna write down outside interference.
Gotcha.
For sure for this one. I think if anyone's gonna happen, it's this one. So the next match is Kevin.
We haven't had any of that.
No, we haven't. Not really. Yeah. And it's okay if they don't, but you would think again, someone unexpected.
I'm all about the unexpected outside. I mean,
Yeah.
I started this one off by saying that Dean Ambrose was going to run in to help Roman Reigns. So,
You keep
and
on, you keep hope alive, man. You just keep rolling with
yeah.
that,
So,
because
that's what
that's all you've got for that is just
I'm
hope.
all about that. Surprise! Like I said, yes, you don't want to do it every single match. You don't want to do it every single show.
No.
But
But
I mean, it
it's
doesn't get bigger than
WrestleMania
this
weekend.
than WrestleMania. So
Somebody's gotta
there
pop
needs to
in
be some
somewhere.
fireworks.
Yeah. So this next match is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is with Logan Paul, who's a prominent YouTuber. In a way, especially I mean, we're sitting here doing a Twitch stream, so we can get kind of like the social media people involved with this stuff. Like maybe think someday when we're in our 70s and out there in the walkers, we'll be maybe showing up at like, I don't know, like Fastlane or something.
Yeah. See, there you go, man. Shoot big. We're gonna be on WrestleMania soon.
It better happen soon.
Exactly. I don't have too much longer.
My old fat ass out there trying to get a bit about it. But so Bad
Bunny is now the standard. So
just saying. Well, good God, if
start
that's
working out
it,
now.
Exactly. Because good God,
yeah,
you have not seen that match. Just do yourself a favor. Just get on. Get the subscription for Peacock. Just for that match and the Sasha Banks Bianca Belair match. I'm just telling you, it's you're not in a contract. Just take it on. And again, not hashtag not a sponsor. Hashtag always looking for sponsors. We're neither sponsored by the WWE or Peacock.
This is where we go into our the second or third run of DX. Where it's Shawn and Triple H where they start hawking all their merchandise. So we're at that portion. Hey, click the link below. Make sure you subscribe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Click
like button. By the way, do that. Yeah, what he just said. Do that. Yeah. It helps everybody to do it. Especially you, Paul. I'm seeing you. I know you're there. You better click on it. Okay. So this match, sadly enough, this is what I don't know enough about this match. I don't know why Logan Paul's involved. I don't know why. He's one of those ones where if I'm watching. Paul is
there because Sammy is doing this whole conspiracy thing. There's a conspiracy against him, and everybody's against him. And Logan Paul is good at solving these from what I've seen as far as the social media thing. And so Sammy brought him out the episode, not yesterday or not Friday's SmackDown, but the one before that. He brought Logan Paul there, and is his feature film that is supposed to blow the roof off of all of this expose. And so Logan Paul is supposed to be there helping him and all of that. That's how he's in it involved.
There's some documentary thing going on.
I'm this whole conspiracy.
I kind of.
They're all against him.
Yeah.
And Owens is basically saying, no, there's no conspiracy. I need to beat. Okay, I'm still your friend. I'm your friend, but okay, sometimes your friend's insane and you just have to punch him.
Well, there's that, but also I do remember seeing the spot where Sammy actually kicks Owens with the haluva kick.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess Owens didn't want to be in the documentary. It's starting to piece together now.
Yeah, Owens is saying, dude, there's no conspiracy. You're just being stupid and paranoid.
Yeah.
And it just kept on. And so it just has grown from that. And that's really what this is about.
It's also a chance. These guys know each other forever, and so they can put together a really good match. So I expect, again, I kind of put this sort of in the vein of the Seth Rollins Cesaro match from tonight. Mm-hmm. Where there's nothing really on the line. They're not fighting for us. There's no title here. Neither one of them necessarily fighting for a spot to a title per se. There's just another kind of arc going on here that's silly, but at the same time, you can expect these two to put together a pretty damn good match, because they know each other so well. It'll definitely be different than like Cesaro Rollins. I don't expect anybody to do any corkscrew splashes off the top rope.
You never know,
but
you never know.
They could, they can put together some pretty decent things. I'd be kind of curious to see how Logan Paul gets involved, because he is. Yeah. I don't expect.
Of course.
If Logan Paul comes in and does like some kind of level of performance of Bad Bunny, then I'm gonna have to completely reshape my whole view on this whole celebrity like wrestling thing, because then we're making a completely different turn here. Because after Mel,
I will say,
Bad Bunny,
I will say,
if Logan Paul somehow.
No, I agree with you. I will say, Bad Bunny's been doing it for multiple episodes, multiple shows. Surprisingly, a surprising amount, to be honest with you. And that may be just from maybe he's based out of Florida, where all the shows are shot, so maybe that's been a benefit,
right?
But he's also been he was serious from like day one. Logan Paul, you could tell, was just a little out of his element. He was trying to feel his way in his first show. So,
well, and that's also, I mean, the fact that he's not in the match, he's
he's not supposed to be
with Sammy. You could expect him to get involved, but not. He's gonna. I don't see him doing really anything.
Yeah, I could see
that
it.
way.
Yeah.
I mean, so
who you got?
I'm gonna take Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Because
I'm gonna go with Sammy.
Because why not? I mean, I think if Sammy's gonna win, it's gonna be some interference kind of stuff from Logan or some kind of thing. But I would say, I don't know. Part of me just I like watching Kevin Owens beat the crap out of Sami Zayn. I think it's one of the best things in wrestling. You know, here in the past like decade. Just watching him literally just beat the crap out of Sammy is just makes me feel good. So I'm hoping for the best here. So that's going to be my take.
All right. Who we got up next?
Last match on the list. The Women's Tag Team Championship, obviously, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, the champions. Again, spoiler territory, because if you didn't watch tonight's WrestleMania on Saturday, night one, it was Natalya and Tamina, correct? That won.
Nobody.
And Tamina got the pin in an interesting thing of course of events. If you want to know what we're talking about, go watch the previous stream. So it's. It's another situation where I'm trying to make myself care.
I understand. There's a reason they probably listed that last, to be honest with you.
Well, exactly. Like I do too, because WWE's women division is so strong overall, and I think especially like even like Shayna Baszler has really made a solid transition from MMA to wrestling.
Yeah.
Again, but I think there's another case where like her run in NXT was phenomenal. And now that she's on the main roster, okay, look, she's got the tag belts, that's great. But
she was never a team type of person.
She's a singles monster. Like, especially now that you've got a good, even a deeper bench now with like the Rhea Ripleys and the Bianca Belairs coming in. You've got, and I mean, by the time you get Becky coming back into the mix, you still have the 4 horsewomen, in their respective spots.
That phrase.
Because, well, also, she has her little team too. kind of going on. Rousey's not coming back. Rousey is not coming back to wrestling. Rousey is just like she did not like she kind of enjoyed
She
her
didn't like getting
time.
booed.
Hmm?
She didn't like getting booed.
She didn't like getting booed. She really she gave it a shot. I think she enjoyed aspects of it, and this the stuff that she said when she left about the wrestlers, the women wrestlers at the end of it all.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of it, but I don't think it, even if she meant it as more of like a heel kind of thing.
She didn't use the ultimate F word, did she?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. That's the trick. Because again, that's kind of what makes me think it's not like she wasn't playing a kayfabe character at that point. Like
right. She's legit. Yeah, you can't call it.
It's kind of weird. Like you never know. It could be like some weird like meta within a meta kind of thing, maybe. But I don't think so. I think because like and then she's had a kid. I think she's just like nah.
I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't think I definitely wasn't expecting her to come back. Not this year. I never say never in wrestling.
Well, that's a fair point to take.
And honestly, all the points that you said kind of would play into the storyline.
Well, you can always make it those. That's the other thing about wrestling. You can always make it a story arc.
You can really make that a storyline. I think Shayna. I think Shayna eventually needs to. They got to do some better writing with her. Now she doesn't exactly exude personality. She does, I think, she needs
a manager.
Good writing for her.
She needs some good writing. Yeah, she needs a manager. She needs kind of like whatever what they do with the Roman. Best female version of Paul Heyman could be.
They have a manager with them now. What are you talking about, man?
Oh, Reginald?
Yeah.
That dude's a distraction. That's it. And a boy toy. That's it. He's no Paul Heyman. They need someone else, even if she goes in, even if she joins up with Roman Reigns and has Paul Heyman. I'd rather see that than
actually. Okay, you kind of threw that off the top of your head, but I'll say that would actually
that could be terrible. Be
a weirdly entertaining group.
Wouldn't be terrible.
I would not be terrible. Yeah, and isn't Roman related to her tag team partner?
Nia. Now, Nia is in that whole like cousins of the Rock kind of thing. They're like I think they're like second cousins, or they might even be first cousins. I don't know.
Sure.
But they're all in that family. That whole Samoan
may have just
royalty.
Cracked the code right there.
Hey, that's what I do, man.
Yeah.
That's what I do. But at the same, again, maybe just to kind of piece this together is something that they could, do something with. But I think that Shayna definitely needs to go back into the singles women's run. She needs to be going after titles. And again, especially with like heavy hitters like Rhea Ripley and or Bianca Belair or wherever they want to put her. Just someplace where then she can be in that mix.
They've been sort of teasing that anyhow. They've been teasing the breakup of this.
Sure. And I think this might. And so
with the whole Reginald thing.
You could see. Okay, so here's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Natalya and Tamina winning this one.
Yeah, I was too.
As transitional champions.
Completely transitional.
You know what I'm saying? And as a way then to take it to, and maybe it's Naomi and Lana. Maybe who knows?
Who cares? Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
But as a way to then kind of shake this up, break this up, whatever you want to do.
Break these two up.
Maybe Shayna goes off and do anything. Maybe Nia then like goes like running to Cousin Roman and joins up with that crew that way. You could see it go a zillion different ways. But my take is, and as I say, we don't always have to like take the counter on all of them.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I think
we're on the same page when it comes to this.
I think the timing is right. If it's going to happen, I think the timing is right to shake this up and to get the belts off of Nia and Shayna, and and then you can build. So like in a way, like this seems to make more sense because of the size and the general history and the pedigree and everything. We talked about this a little bit last night. Actually, we didn't even think it was going to happen, but it was like, well, it would make sense if you had Natalya and Tamina go up against them, and then. But I don't see them being like long running champs.
No.
And then you can.
No, I could see them dropping it within the next pay-per-view.
Sure.
Or prior. No, I agree with you. I think as much as they're talking about, I think this is the only one that I might say be a feel-good-esque type of moment. That and Ripley. But Ripley, so if you're going to have Ripley winning, that's a feel-good moment, and you have a star in the making. And the EST of WWE winning tonight, and so you have another star in the making, or having made one. Both faces,
right?
What you do, you need a big bad, and every great hero needs a big bad. So that big bad is not Nia Jax, but rather Shayna.
Yeah.
Shayna, I see, Reginald somehow screws up, gets in the way, messes up in some way, shape, or form. They lose the match, and Shayna totally goes absolutely off.
Yeah.
At the end of this match, and just she goes after Reginald first, and then Nia grabs her, and then she beats the bejesus out of Nia.
Oh, Reginald's the perfect scapegoat in this situation. You basically work it up to where they can still protect.
They should break that up.
Whomever. I mean, you could even have Shayna end up getting the loss, but it's protected because it's totally a screw up on Reginald's part.
Yes, absolutely.
And then
in fact, I think Shayna should get the loss because of Reginald. That is what will set her off.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, that's sort of the way I see this match ending, and then breaking that up, and then letting Shayna go be that singles competitor, to be honest with you, and let her go that route. So, she's never going to be a warm and fuzzy team rah type of person. Now we're at the end, so I've got to ask: do you think we see or this night, or do we see maybe on Raw the next one? The man had a baby not long ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's, again, it's just a weird phrase to say. But, Becky is eventually coming back. Does she come back tonight? Or, it is tonight at this point.
Again, I think the scenario we talked about last night that I could see, especially since it didn't happen tonight with the Sasha Banks Bianca match, I could easily see a situation where Rhea Ripley wins the belt. I as far as like which time, I see it as a crapshoot, but I think it could be very likely to have Becky show up basically kind of again at sort of the either at WrestleMania, and it'd be just a her walking out kind of thing. But my big thing there, though, is that, it is kind of okay, you have Ripley winning the match at WrestleMania, kind of give her moment.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was just getting ready to say.
On Raw, turn around and then have Becky show up and kind of cut up, like, basically then Rhea's and we've seen this time and time again, so it's not like we're not recreating anything.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so it's Rhea then basically has her, Raw championship kind of first interview out on the ring. Exactly. And then and then have Becky Lynch come out. Because again, we talked about it. It's like, okay, I technically didn't lose this. This is mine. This is, something along those lines where she can then kind of come out and basically say, I think, again, it's hard to say because I don't, and guys, we don't know. We're prognosticating here a little bit. But what I will say is that I think the timing could work. I think it would just be more a matter of Becky's preference on that. How long does she want to? How long does she still want to be out with the baby and everything? And then when does she want to really kind of get back to work? And
if I were guessing, I would say Raw. Raw makes the most sense. It would be sort of shoehorned in. It feels like if she came in for WrestleMania, none of these matches exactly feel like the right spot for her. But I think that's sort of.
I think it would be if it's going to be anytime soon. Then especially if. I mean, in either case, you could see her come in because it's just okay. She's in, and so now she's going to be going after the belt. So whoever wins, that's basically how it's going to go down. But I think especially I think it would be a more interesting story for Rhea to win it, and then have Becky come in on Raw, and basically say, "Oh, hold your horses, there. The man's back in town," and. You know what I'm after.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could definitely. I
could see that. I could see it, and it's hard. Again, I also am reserving the right that there very well could be some other kind of weird sort of cameos or just. I don't know. I don't have a good enough sense. I think I said like either I think Jey Uso is definitely a possibility here. And then I would say Becky Lynch. Outside of that, I really don't know. I think it'd be somebody out of the blue. Really, anything else would be completely just.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because we don't really have anybody running in. We haven't no big reveals or anything like that. It's they're
hard to gauge.
It is. It really is, especially where everybody is right now. It's so. All right. Well, that is our preview.
Yes, it is. It's a one hell of a night tonight,
which will be in a few hours here.
They've got they've got their shoes. They've got the big shoes to fill. After night one, I think night one really tore the house down. I'm actually it's been a while since I've been excited by a WWE pay-per-view.
Oh yeah.
And so
night one set the bar.
This one,
they really
definitely. So we'll have to see what night two does. So with that, guys, everyone that hopped on, thank you so much for watching. We're going to have this up on YouTube, so especially if you see it on YouTube, remember, subscribe, like, all that good stuff, because it definitely helps, especially guys like us that are just trying to get this thing rolling. It really helps the YouTube algorithms and the RNG and the pray and
all the magic that happens behind the scenes that we don't know how it works.
You need to do. Yeah, none of we don't know.
Yeah.
I'm out here sacrificing chickens. I'm not, but like I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. I don't know, but like just if you catch us up on YouTube, definitely give it a like and subscribe. That'll definitely help us out. And yeah, we'll be doing something with the recap for tomorrow night because I'm really curious to see how this goes. But with that, this was Getting Worked. Jarrett and Ian signing off. Good night.
Later, fam.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid